Messiah.
Hi guys, welcome to another show from More Than a Woman. My name's Abby.
My name's Shamila.
And I'm Keely.
On this episode, what we're going to discuss is Black Lives Matter and where this campaign stems from. So, girls, what do you think of the Black Lives Matter movement and where it stems from?
I think it matters, obviously. Like, it's not a question for me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I just feel like, why is it even a question?
I feel like it becomes a question now only because of what we see in this day and age. Like, I feel like what we see on social media from police officers in America just killing off black people, like it's nothing. Whereas when they're treating white people differently for doing the exact same thing, it's like, are we even seen as human? Like, why do we not matter? And then you have other people saying, oh, all lives matter, but Black Lives Matter isn't a thing where we're saying only we matter. We're just trying to be heard and say, you know what, we matter as well as everybody else, so we should be treated equal and the same. Because really and truly, it's kind of like, if one house is burning, for example, are you going to say all houses matter? Like, the house that's burning on fire is the one that...
Yeah, we understand that all lives matter. However, the systematical racism and the violence of black people, that is kind of that's what the BLM campaign's about. That's where it all started. So do you not think that it's lost its purpose in terms of Black Lives Matter, what it was actually about? Because I think it started in 2013 when that Trayvon Martin got shot by that Zimmerman.
Yeah,
I think
that's 17. That's where it stemmed from, isn't it? That African American guy.
I don't know where it stemmed from, but
I think that's where it stemmed from, and I think it was 3 black women that were the founders of the movement.
I think that even though collectively Black Lives Matter, regardless, but I think that the Black Lives Matter and who created it in the States compared to how we push it forward. And basically here in the UK, Black Lives Matter, we do marches for it, and we're doing and trying to get equality in the workplace and on all different in all different areas of institutional organizations. And I think in America,
it's more about police brutality.
But there's there's a lot of I don't want to say conspiracy theories, but there's a lot of discussions going on about where it came from, who started it, and the reasonings behind where it's come from. And even though I'm not really up to date on American politics because we live here, but I think that when we're fighting for Black Lives Matter, it's literally for Black Lives Matter. We're looking at it in its entirety. Exactly.
They're just looking at it one thing. Now in America, because they've got guns and police have kind of more say over.
Yeah, and because there's the whole George Soros, if that's even his name, and the whole transgender.
Because there was 21 transgender black females, males. Sorry.
That there's so much different politics within what they're fighting for, and I'm not saying that it doesn't affect us here in the UK, but I'm just saying that ours is just, we're just including every single black life, and we're pushing that forward, where people over there are questioning where the funding is going, for example, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit.
So do you feel like the Black Lives Matter movement in the UK? Do you feel like we kind of campaign for it a lot better than they do in the US? Because they kind of focus on who's been killed by the police, and whereas what you're saying is correct, we look at it as entirety. So it's not just who's been, injustice by the police. We're looking at injustices in employment, in benefits, in housing.
I think that they do push forward for them things there, but I think because of what's going on in America right now, and because they are shooting innocent black people down in the street. Right now in America, that's the highlight of what they're pushing for, and that does happen here in the UK too, but not as much in America. And I'm a little bit of a rebel, so I do kind of prefer their way of doing it.
The Americans' way.
Yeah.
In terms of the campaigning. The looting and stuff like that.
I don't know. Not the looting. I just think they're burning everything down because
they're making a statement, aren't they?
It's the statement of it, because at the end of the day...
that's going to be long lasting.
But then it's kind of like... How does that help things?
You're fighting fire with fire.
Yeah, it's fire with fire.
Yeah.
And the thing is...
I'm agreeing with you. Like, how does it help things? Because if you can't fight fire with fire,
I feel like
need to...
With America,
I think we've tried everything else, and the way I see it is...
You only tried everything else if you shoot them back, really.
Well,
I know that sounds a bit hard.
I wouldn't shed a tear if that happened either.
Because if you're burning, the reason why
I'm saying that I don't mind them burning places down. Yeah. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, just in case. Like, I'm not saying let's go and burn everything down in the UK just in case they come back to more than a woman and say Keely said. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying at the end of the day, the way I see it is we black people put these people in a position to be able to build these buildings up in the first place, so we technically built them, and then if you're going to take advantage and not give us the rights and equalities that we deserve as human beings, then we also have the right to burn it down.
And I agree with that, because even if you look at places like Birmingham, London, look where town is situated. What areas are around town? Handsworth, Newtown, Aston, all them inner city places where people find it hard to get jobs. How can you find it hard to get jobs and you live 5 minutes away from a corporate building?
Exactly.
Like, I should be one of the first people that you ask.
Yeah, you'll get to work in 5 minutes.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. Yeah. No, but they look past us and they want to go to the man in Solihull.
Yeah.
It's going to take him 45 minutes to get to the job, probably later in the morning.
And that's not including traffic.
You know what I mean?
I know what
you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
So, just moving on from that. So, how do you feel as though, moving forward, Black Lives Matter can have a bigger impact, especially with what's going on now with the COVID? And like, even in terms of, like, Wiley... Wiley, got discriminated against because of the comment that he made about Jews, but then you've got other people like, what's her name? Katie Hopkins, who for years has been making comments about black people, single mothers, even down to children's names, that she wouldn't let her kids mix around with a child whose name was like, Polly, I don't know, Polly or Denisha. You get me? Like, it would have to be.
She also said something about that. Children's name being named after countries as well, but her daughter's called India.
Or
that
after
makes no sense.
fruit and veg.
Do you know me?
But how do we move forward? Though? How can we make it?
In terms of people like Katie Hopkins, I listen to something that they say once or twice, and I don't listen to it again. Like, I see their face or their name, and I scroll straight past.
That's why I think she don't do This Morning anymore, because she doesn't have an impact.
I think they had to get rid of her after a certain amount of time.
But then she's still allowed to make comments on Twitter. But then Wiley, you want to take him off. You want to let.
I think you've got to remember who owns all of these social media outlets. It's like,
personally, I don't disagree with what Wiley said. Personally,
what about the way he said it though?
But people say things like, people expect people to always be
politically
correct in the terminology of how they speak. When he spoke and said what he said, I feel like people was nitpicking. Really, they knew what he meant and they knew how he said it. He's just not very well spoken, and he expresses himself through music. So to nitpick about how he's talking and what he said was just ridiculous. You knew exactly what he meant and how he was trying, and the point that he was trying to get at, and he wasn't lying. And furthermore, that was his experience. So if that was his experience, then how can you then shut down a whole person off social media and basically, like, even take away all their past achievements? Like, like, how are you going to take away a person's whole past achievements because of something that he said, but then here we are struggling to get a job?
Exactly. So do you feel as though the comments that Wiley made, if it was a man from a different race, would it have been, I don't know, accepted in a different way? Say if it was a white man, for instance, and let me just pull it out there. So if it wasn't Wiley and it was Ed Sheeran, do you feel as though he would have got the backlash that he got?
No.
Nah.
No.
I feel like whenever it's a black person, it's just 10 times.
Yeah, they fixate on it more, don't they? Yeah. And the media.
Do you know why I feel like they fixated more on Wiley? Do you know what? I even
because he's outspoken anyway.
No, do you know what? Actually, while we're discussing it, right, I feel like if Wiley possibly would have said it at another time before this whole Black Lives Matter move, because remember, you know, Wiley's said it in the midst have magnified it. Black Lives Matter, and I feel like they've used Wiley as example to basically mash up the movement.
Yeah.
And the point that we're trying to make. I feel like if he said it 5 years before, or even 2 years ago,
would have looked into
or
it.
even if he said it futuristically in another 2 years' time, I don't feel like it would have got the attention what it did. But because they're trying to basically not disqualify, but because they're trying to discredit every little thing that we're trying to speak about and tarnish. Exactly, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to tarnish the whole movement and people that do speak on the behalf of black people.
Yeah, like diversity.
Exactly. So I just feel like if he would have said it at another time, it wouldn't have been treated the way that it would have been treated. I'm not saying that it wouldn't have got treated badly, but
it wouldn't have been magnified.
I feel like it was using it as an example to tarnish
same
and
with the
discredit what I was doing.
diversity. Same with the Alicia Dixon situation. So like, what's your points on that? What's your views on that now? Obviously, they've got 25,000 complaints about the dance act that diversity done on Britain's Got Talent, but to me it's dancing. That's what you do. It's art. You're projecting drama through dance.
You're acting basically.
If it was done in EastEnders, no one would have had something to say. If it was done in EastEnders, no, because it was on there, and I think it's about because it was a black group, because diversity is majority black people in there. How do you feel?
To be honest, I saw. Basically, I don't watch Britain's Got Talent anymore, and because of what they did, and not everybody complaining about it, but because everybody was sharing what happened, it made me go and look at the dance.
Same with me.
And I saw a statement that ITV said that they were standing behind diversity, and I feel like a lot of people was the same as me, where they didn't pay much attention or didn't watch Britain's Got Talent. But I feel like because it happened, it actually rocketed up the views.
Oh yeah, especially for that one episode.
Yeah, it rocketed up the views. And ITV thought, oh no, let's support diversity.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So really, because they've used it as an advantage to themselves.
Exactly.
So technically,
because whether you agreed with the dance or not,
it's profiting them by views.
Still got people to go and view.
The dance.
It benefits them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing as well. Like, during like the whole of Black Lives Matter, obviously throughout this year especially, like, have people profited off of our pain? Because it's like some people are selling t-shirts and
that's what they're doing.
And it's like,
but people do that, profit off your demise, don't they?
It's like, why are you only doing this now? Because only just because we've seen a video online when this happens every day. Do you know what I mean?
They're just doing what they've always done.
Yeah, no, it's true though. Like, all these t-shirts, all these African earrings are coming out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
made in China.
Where were these 20 years ago? Right, and it's not even made in Africa. It's made in China to backside.
You know the worst thing. You know the worst thing is as well. Like, you see a lot of companies now like employing more black people just to look more diverse, but it's like, it's because they want people to see them standing for Black Lives Matter, because a lot of people were saying, oh, why is this not company making a statement on Black Lives Matter? Why is this company not making a statement? So it's like people are finding somewhere to cancel them, but it's like, why are we waiting for companies to do that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I noticed most big corporate companies like the police, and I will speak on the West Midlands Police because I was there at their diversity agenda. All of a sudden there's Black Lives Matter coming, is now you want to look at diversity agenda and how your employment recruitment process works. Like, you should have been looking at this years ago, from when Kingsley Burrell was killed, Stephen Lawrence was killed. You know, like, diversity agenda should have been looked at years and years ago, not just now. Now that
exactly. Why now?
Why now?
Like you said, the profiting off your pain, basically, in your demise.
People just need to be seen like they're doing something. It's an act. Because even though they already know what they're doing, and the thing is, as far as I'm concerned, like, even if in terms of like institutional racism and police and stuff, you can employ as many people at the bottom and employ as much ethnic minority people as you want, if the person at the top doesn't change, then you can recruit whoever you want to recruit at the bottom. Things are never going to change because people forget that when you recruit people at the bottom, they still have to do what the person at the top tells them to do. So it's the person at the top that needs to be taken.
And 9 times out of 10, when you're starting off at the bottom, what is the chance that black woman or man is going to make it to that director position? There's no.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
You've got to work 10 times.
All these companies that are turning around and saying that they're in support of Black Lives Matter, show me your board of directors, and I'll believe you.
They're doing it just to put it on paper. Say, oh, look what we're doing. But if you really dig deep and done what you've just said, then it still be all white faces across there. Honestly, it's terrible. Right, moving on from that anyway. So, as a result of Wiley, or one of the results of Wiley's thing, being you know, the backlash from it. Sideman, we all know Sideman, innit? I love him when he's proper. Sideman, he left BBC One Radio, he resigned. Yeah. So do you feel as though, and he was also saying, him and that ZZ Mills, they were also saying that we should, every black person in BBC should boycott.
Yeah, I agree.
So do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, what would a boycott look like to you though?
An empty building.
Like no one showing up
nobody.
If you don't show up, how about it's like you're profiting off of me being there. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, if I don't come in, what you gonna do then?
Yeah. Because I think
I'll make my own.
Just our personalities and our characters, we just naturally draw people. Like you have people coming just to listen to Sideman. You have people like tuning in just to listen to people like ZZ Mills. So you take away those people, and you know.
You lose your ratings. It's true.
Yeah, because it's predominantly us or people that are into our specific culture, which is why you've got a specific time slot for music, for that type of music to be played. You're aiming at a particular crowd. So if you take away that, then what can you do with it?
That's true. Yeah. That is true. You know, in terms of the Black Lives Matter as well. Okay, I want to throw a spanner in the works here because Alicia Dixon's mixed race.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you feel as though some of the comments that were made in terms of like the backlash that she got, most of the comments I've seen was all about all lives matter. That's mainly the comments. But in my head, I'm thinking, as a mixed race woman who would be considered as black, do you think she's worthy enough to wear the BLM? The BLM statement.
Like anyone can wear it, really.
Worthy, you know.
No offense, Alicia, if you're watching. I love you, girl. But
yeah, because I don't know who's black on whether it's her mum's side or her dad's side. But one, she can speak for half of what she is, and two, she has the right to turn around and say, my black mum or dad or siblings or grandparents or whatever it is, their lives do matter. And depending on what she's been taught and the history of it, like, she does have the right to say whatever she wants to say in regards to.
So it wouldn't even matter if whether she's mixed race or not. It's just the fact that she's
if you
but to be fair,
some people would look at it like that. You're mixed race. Like,
no, I agree.
So you should be batting for both sides.
When this whole Black Lives Matter thing started, I did see a lot of I saw a lot of mixed race people like speaking up about their experience on Black Lives Matter and their perspective. And I did, to be fair, see black people turning around and saying that mixed race people was not black enough to talk on their experience or didn't have the right to say anything on Black Lives Matter. So
you have people that say that as well, but the thing is, like, for some mixed race people, they'll grow up in like a predominantly white area, so for everyone else in the area, they see that mixed race person as black. Do you know what I mean? Whereas some black people may not see mixed race people as black.
Some mixed race people don't identify as black. They'll probably identify more with their white side than their black side. And like we said earlier, in previous shows, we've said, you know, we need to educate and enable, because then that's, if they don't know their background, then what can
it is? But you know what? I think, regardless of wherever you sit on the fence with this whole BLM thing, I think regardless of, because some mixed race people live in a predominantly white area and are more on the white side, and their friends don't see them as anything different normally. But I do feel like when Black Lives Matter happened, because I do have mixed race friends, and there was whole, like, families have fallen out because their mixed race family members have talked about their experience and have talked about how they feel excluded or mistreated by white members of their family, and their white members of their family wasn't having a bar of it, and there's been whole family fallouts over this. So I do feel like, regardless, it has highlighted things that needed to be highlighted. As sad as the whole thing is, I feel like some people really did need a reality check to what is going on in the world right now.
And it kind of like opens your eyes, like, because it shows people's true colours.
Exactly.
Do you know
I feel like a lot of black people, mixed race people, whatever, I feel like a lot of us got too comfortable in Western society and always thinking that we're included and we're accepted. We never have been and we never will be. And sometimes we just need that reality check to say, like, hello, you looked in the mirror this morning, you're still black. You needed that. And they see you as black too. Bleach or no bleach.
So in terms of the protests and the campaigns that we've done in terms of, like, Black Lives Matter, we protest the same way people like, you know, the English Defence League and National Front march all the time. Why do you feel like we get that negative connotation attached to our protests and our marches? Do you think it's just that though, or do you think it's our style or our approach? Because actually, EDL, their marches are ruthless.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, I think it's because of what we're protesting for. No matter how peaceful we are, what we're protesting for, they don't like it. And it's like, the question is, this is the reason why racism still exists, because it's like, you think it doesn't exist, but your reaction to what we're protesting for clearly shows. Do you know what I mean? How
do you know what I personally think? I feel like if these institutions start accepting that there's issues bigger than the average little bit of racism here and there, then we're gonna start attacking that, and then we're gonna get what we want from that. But then we're not gonna be satisfied with that. Then they're gonna have to admit the wrongdoings on a bigger scale. And if they have to admit things wrong on a bigger scale, do you know where it leads to? Reparations. And if you have to give us reparations, because remember, you know, to be able to have reparations, you have to basically own everything that you've done and say that it was wrong and apologise and accept the generational curses and mistreatment and things that we've not been able to build up because of what's done. Then you have to say sorry, and you have to show how you're gonna build that back up, or how you're gonna change it. And the only way that you can change that and put us back on a foot, basically, is by giving us reparations. And if they have to give us reparations, there won't be no Great Britain.
No,
no Britain will no longer be great. There won't be no Great Britain. They broke Britain. You know, and then that's what, you know, and we'd be all going back off to wherever we're going to go and rebuild somewhere else. So they're not going to say sorry. They can't risk people wanting to, you know, research things because the I can't even think of the word now. But basically, they'd be doomed.
Yeah.
So just moving on slightly from that, what would you like define blackness as? What would your definition of blackness be? What does that mean to you?
I would say just being comfortable in your own black skin, embracing who you are in your natural state, and being confident. Do you know what I mean? Because if you don't, it's kind of like, are you comfortable with who you are? Because, you know, some people aren't.
What about you? What do you think? What do you think blackness is all about? What does that mean to you?
But sorry, actually, you know what? Let me add a bit more. I think it's
yeah, of course.
It's more than just skin colour. I feel like
definitely. It's culturally, moral, beliefs. It's all rounder. Definitely all rounder.
I think that has a lot to do with blackness as well.
Yeah, it's not just the skin colour, because I mean, you can wear the skin colour. I know a lot of people who wear the skin colour, you know. But they don't own it. They wear it, but they don't own it. You know what I mean? But What for? I mean, I don't want no long-winded reply. Really, I know what you like. Yeah, right. In one word, not joking.
Blackness to me is something really, really special. Regardless of everything that we've been through and everything that we're still going through, I wouldn't change it for anything else in this whole world, because I just feel like we're on this earth for a bigger purpose than what's even explainable. You know, we're always, and even though it gets tiring because we're always having to fight for something, like I just feel like there's a reason beyond our imagination why we're always having to fight for something. And I just feel like the benefits of that and the outcome of whatever that will be in the future, whether I'm here to witness it or not, like, it's satisfying within itself, and I do it 100 times over.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I think you're both right. Like, blackness to me is an all-rounder. It's everything. It's, you know, what you morally believe in, your culture, who you are as a person, what you embrace, what you allow.
Like, you test as a black person, you're tested on every spiritual level possible.
You are,
more than anybody else.
I'm first hand with that. First hand,
so
definitely.
Like, I just feel like spiritually, if you're tested on so many levels, regardless of whether we know it or not, there's a reason. So I just feel like it's a really special thing, and it's really amazing. And
so what do you say to people then, with all, you know, the blackness in its entirety, and how, you know, and how good we think it is and whatever? So what do you think about people who make that statement of all lives matter?
I think
I haven't come across an all lives matter person.
Yeah, me neither. To be fair, I just
but
see
I
it
on that Alicia Dixon when she got.
To be
I'm
fair,
just there like, well, whatever. Because
I feel like personally, I feel like when I see white people turn around and say all lives matter, because of the past, I don't expect anything else from them. So it actually doesn't bother me when they say something. I actually just roll my eyes and just think, oh, okay. It upsets me when I see us, one of our own, saying something, and then this is when I have to really accept that all skin folk ain't kinfolk. This is when I had to really accept that, because it was when I read comments from our own people, riled me up more than what I ever read from any white person, to be fair. So and in my circle, which is not very big, I don't have any all lives matter people. Otherwise you'd have to get kicked out.
I think it's more the fact that, like, obviously we're not taking away from the fact that all lives matter. Like, that's just common sense. You know what I mean? I think people
who actually say all lives matter, they're not
black lives
stupid.
Don't matter.
They know what they're saying, and they know the reason what they understand what they're saying. They just choose not to, because they just don't like us. And that's it.
Point blank.
Point blank, basically. So what should new movements contain then, in order to help build our next generation?
To be honest, I just feel like we need to start fighting for equality in a country that doesn't want
equality.
This is how I look at it. Okay, it's like, personally, I feel like we need to start fighting for an equality in a place that's never going to give us equality. One, you have to think about it like this as well. If you look at it like animal instinct, do you know what I mean? If you rule a patch, a lion is not going to go and let a cheetah come and rule its patch. Do you know what I mean? It's staying where it is. So we're here, whether some of us never chose to be here and some of us did. It's like me coming to your house. You run your house in a certain working order, and I come to your house, you know, you say, can you come and stay here for like a month?
Which would never happen, by the way.
I wouldn't either.
Especially after today.
Like, if you turn around and say, come to your house for a month, and I observe how things run, you know, and obviously you've built your house to run for the benefit of you. Like, you don't care about anybody outside your house. Like, they're coming to visit, you know, they're leaving. You run it for the benefit of you. And I come and sit in your house and I'm like, Abby, do you know what? I don't feel like you should wash your dishes at this time. Like, I think you should wash your dishes at that time. And then after a bit, you're going to think, who are you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, don't come here and tell me how to run whatever. You're lucky I'm treating you respectfully and I've invited you here in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Like, and like, that's what I feel like. We shouldn't be here. Like, this is... I grew up like being told that this is white man.
Yeah, we shouldn't
like,
be grateful anymore to be here. Like, grateful. We shouldn't be grateful.
No, we shouldn't be here anymore. I feel like this is a white man's country. So I just feel like why are we trying to fight for things that they're never ever going to give us? Because if they give us equality the same as them, they're not going to get the benefits of the system that they built for themselves. So we take away. You know, we carry on working, because I don't want to say start to work hard, because we've always been working hard. We'll continue to do what we're doing, and we'll go and build it where we're supposed to be. Whether you feel like that's in the Caribbean, personally for me it would be in Africa. But you take your things and you build up yourself where you're supposed to build it. Mm-hmm. That's what I personally think. And that's what it looks like to me.
Great. So... Moving on from that, how do we resolve any issues with the Black Lives Matter movement? Is this something that we just need to just ride with and hope for the best, or
I would say block out.
Are there any other solutions?
And just work on what you need to work on for the progress of Black people.
Yeah, I think mental health.
Oh yeah,
your mental health as much as possible, and pick your battles. Like, there's a lot of things going on that that stresses out emotionally. And not everything is worth a fight. You have to sometimes save your energy and save it for the battles that are really worth fighting for. So just ride it out. Yeah. Okay, so thanks for tuning into another episode of More Than a Woman. Yes. I hope you enjoyed the Black Lives Matter topic. We look forward to you joining us on our next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
More than a woman, yes I am. More than a woman, yes I am.